Leonardo Dicaprio from breakdance to Oscar. Before the bear, before the diamond, before the Oscar gold, there was a young Leo DiCaprio, honing his acting chops not on Hollywood sets, but amidst the breakdancing crews of Santa Monica. His path to becoming a global icon wasn't paved with privilege, but with relentless ambition and a surprising series of near misses. From early career rejections to a mysterious stint with a modeling agency, and even brushes with death, DiCaprio's ascent is a story of resilience. How did this aspiring actor transform himself from a struggling teen into a leading man beloved by Scorsese, a rival of Wahlberg, and ultimately an Academy Award winner? This is the untold story of Leonardo DiCaprio's rise to fame, a captivating journey of talent, tenacity, and the unwavering pursuit of a dream. Amidst the bell-bottoms and bohemian vibes of 1974, Irmelin and George anticipated the arrival of their son, Leonardo. The name, inspired by a Da Vinci masterpiece Irmelin encountered in Italy, was cemented when she felt her baby's first kick in that very moment. George, an artist himself, readily embraced the namesake of a creative giant. Although their relationship ended before Leonardo's first birthday, Irmelin and George committed to raising their son together, providing a nurturing environment. George, a comic book store employee, cultivated Leonardo's artistic sensibilities, while Irmelin, a polyglot, exposed him to European travels and his German heritage. Still in diapers, Leonardo's performative spirit emerged, captivating his family with impersonations and dance routines. Recognizing his talent, his parents facilitated auditions. A 5-year-old Leonardo's appearance on Romper Room, however, was cut short by his fascination with the cameras, but it solidified his acting aspirations. The following 7 years saw Leonardo navigate a landscape of auditions and rejections. He even contemplated abandoning acting for breakdancing, a skill that earned him local German newspaper recognition. Yet his persistence prevailed, culminating in his first television role on The New Lassie 4 years later, spanning 2 episodes. This marked the genesis of his career, with subsequent minor roles in Roseanne, The Outsiders, Parenthood, and even his grandmother's beloved Santa Barbara. He diligently climbed the ladder of supporting roles until his breakout performance in the teen series Growing Pains, where he eclipsed the star, Kirk Cameron, becoming a teen idol. Leonardo's journey underscores the power of perseverance and passion in the face of adversity. The unwavering support of his parents undoubtedly contributed to the realization of his dreams. Leonardo DiCaprio's trajectory to fame continued its upward climb following his television work. His first cinematic appearance was in the horror flick Critters 3, a role that marked a permanent shift away from the small screen. A pivotal moment arrived with his audition for This Boy's Life, directed by Michael Caton Jones. The experience was fraught with tension, amplified by the presence of Robert De Niro, who read lines alongside the hopeful young actor. Adding to the pressure was the presence of Leonardo's childhood friend, Tobey Maguire, also competing for the part. Leaving the audition, Leonardo felt defeated, thinking, "It's over." However, De Niro championed Leonardo for the role, a gesture of support for which Leonardo remains eternally thankful. Demonstrating his own loyalty, Leonardo then persuaded Caton Jones to cast Maguire in a supporting role. Securing a significant film role brought a stark realization. Leonardo's previous acting experience felt superficial compared to the demands of cinema. He recognized the need to shed his teen idol persona and embrace the complexities of dramatic acting. This Boy's Life facilitated this transition, but his subsequent role elevated him even further. His portrayal of Arnie in What's Eating Gilbert Grape was a revelation. Audiences were captivated by his authentic performance, some even questioning whether he had a real-life intellectual disability. Director Lasse Hallström recounted Leonardo's remarkable ability to slip in and out of character. During a particularly intense scene, Hallström, concerned for the young actor's emotional state, halted filming. Leonardo immediately broke character, grinning and asking, "Is everything okay?" Despite the demanding role, he retained his youthful spirit. These formative film roles proved a critical juncture in Leonardo DiCaprio's career, showcasing his burgeoning talent and commitment to his craft. He had transcended his television roots, solidifying his status as a serious film actor poised for greater challenges and a lasting cinematic legacy. Leonardo DiCaprio's performance in What's Eating Gilbert Grape garnered him both Golden Globe and Academy Award nominations, solidifying his reputation as a rising star. His on-set behavior, however, wasn't always lauded. Johnny Depp remembers a young DiCaprio as somewhat mischievous, frequently discussing video games and stealthily smoking cigarettes when his mother wasn't present. Despite this, DiCaprio's career continued its ascent. He secured a role in the high-budget western The Quick and the Dead, sharing the screen with Russell Crowe and Sharon Stone. Notably, Stone was a staunch advocate for DiCaprio, even personally financing his involvement when the studio wavered due to his increasing popularity, a gesture that cost her $120,000. In 1995, DiCaprio starred in The Basketball Diaries, a raw and realistic portrayal of teenage drug abuse. While the film's reception was mixed, resulting in censorship and edits in various countries, it underscored DiCaprio's versatility as an actor. Director Scott Calvert selected DiCaprio for the lead based on his looks, initially unaware of his burgeoning fame. Interestingly, DiCaprio influenced the casting process, requiring Mark Wahlberg to audition 6 times for the role of Mickey. Although their initial interactions were characterized by playful antagonism and teasing, DiCaprio and Wahlberg ultimately developed a close friendship, delivering compelling performances that shed light on the struggles of addiction. 1995 proved to be a pivotal year for DiCaprio, concluding with the release of Total Eclipse, a biographical drama exploring the passionate and complex relationship between French poets Paul Verlaine and Arthur Rimbaud. In 1996, Leonardo DiCaprio took on the role of Romeo in Baz Luhrmann's contemporary interpretation of Shakespeare's timeless love story. Initially hesitant due to a lack of enthusiasm for the bard, DiCaprio was eventually won over by Luhrmann's distinct vision for the film. This proved a wise decision, as the movie became a major box office success, earning over 10 times its initial budget. DiCaprio's portrayal of Romeo resonated with viewers globally, igniting a wave of adoration dubbed Leomania. This intense fandom proved overwhelming for his then-girlfriend, Kristen Zhang, who, along with DiCaprio, endured significant public scrutiny. "My fans sent me tons of hate mail, and we were practically torn to pieces on that red carpet," DiCaprio later commented. The relationship ended the following year. DiCaprio's subsequent project, Marvin's Room, offered a different cinematic experience. The critically acclaimed drama saw him reunite with Robert De Niro, alongside Meryl Streep and Diane Keaton, in a moving story about the complexities of familial relationships. However, DiCaprio's true career-defining moment was on the horizon. James Cameron's Titanic, a massive undertaking with a budget exceeding $200 million, paired DiCaprio with Kate Winslet in what would become a legendary cinematic pairing. Jeremy Sisto, a contender for the role of Jack, lauded DiCaprio's exceptional star quality. "What is it about Leo? He's got everything it takes and more to be one of the biggest stars in the world. It's a combination of his looks, charm, uniqueness. Any great star has to be unique in some way, and solid acting capability. I mean, he's just really, really good." While Sisto was considered a leading candidate, DiCaprio ultimately secured the part. Notably, established actors such as Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise, and Macaulay Culkin also auditioned, but were not chosen. Cameron's decision to cast DiCaprio proved prescient. Titanic became a global phenomenon. Filming Titanic was a Herculean effort, involving a scaled-down ocean, a meticulously reconstructed ship, and countless props. The cast met these challenges head-on, creating a truly memorable film. The famous line, "I'm the king of the world," was actually DiCaprio's improvisation. Another intriguing detail, the film's nude scene was filmed considerably earlier than the iconic line's delivery. Have you seen the movie Titanic? If you have, Please comment below so we can learn more about Leo DiCaprio's role in this movie. Thank you. Recreating the historical epic Titanic presented a monumental challenge for director James Cameron, who aimed for authentic reactions from his actors. For the crucial drawing scene, Cameron intended for Jack and Rose's initial interaction to feel genuinely awkward. Winslet, however, proactively eased the tension, and perhaps more, by introducing herself to DiCaprio before filming began, thus diffusing any potential on-set discomfort. Titanic's impact on cinema is unparalleled. Its box office receipts exceeded $2 billion, making it the second highest-grossing film ever, behind only Avatar. The film's popularity, especially among young audiences, was undeniable. Reportedly, 7% of American teenage girls saw it multiple times in its initial release weeks. The Academy also showered it with awards, granting it 11 Oscars from a then record-tying 14 nominations, a feat matched only by Ben-Hur and The Lord of the Rings. DiCaprio's actions after Titanic's massive success were perplexing. His decision to skip the Oscars, labeled "the behavior of a spoiled brat" by Cameron, sparked considerable speculation. His stated desire to avoid mainstream roles and his expressed regret at missing Boogie Nights only added to the mystery. This latter comment was confusing, seemingly implying regret about Titanic itself, a role that had earned him a Golden Globe nomination. To clarify, director Paul Thomas Anderson initially wanted DiCaprio for the lead role of Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights. When DiCaprio declined, Anderson reportedly quipped, "Let the other guy from Basketball Diaries have it," referring to Mark Wahlberg, who ultimately played the part. In the wake of Titanic, DiCaprio faced a near-death experience during a parachuting excursion with friends, thankfully emerging unscathed. He then embarked on his next cinematic venture, marking his first foray into portraying an antagonist. Following his Titanic triumph, DiCaprio portrayed King Louis XIV in The Man in the Iron Mask, a film boasting a stellar cast. A brief appearance in Woody Allen's Celebrity preceded a 2-year cinematic break, ending with his 2000 return in Danny Boyle's The Beach. Originally intended for Ewan McGregor, studio pressure led to DiCaprio's casting, causing a rift between McGregor and Boyle that lasted 15 years. This role earned DiCaprio his first 7-figure salary. McGregor later got his revenge by securing the lead in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge, directed by a friend of DiCaprio. Despite its serious tone, The Beach found commercial success largely due to DiCaprio's star power. Simultaneously, he began a prominent relationship with Gisele Bündchen, which lasted until 2005. The new millennium, however, brought legal challenges for DiCaprio, starting with a lawsuit concerning Don's Plum. This 1995 film, co-starring Tobey Maguire, faced a 5-year delay as producers waited for the actors to gain fame. DiCaprio and Maguire had sought to prevent wide distribution, resulting in a $40 million lawsuit. The legal battle continued until 2007, when the actors successfully argued their participation was a personal favor under the condition of limited release. In the early stages of his career, Leonardo DiCaprio was in contention for the role of Spider-Man, with James Cameron at the helm. Ultimately, both Cameron and DiCaprio departed the project, which eventually landed with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. This seemingly lost opportunity, however, paved the way for DiCaprio to work with Martin Scorsese on Gangs of New York. The Rome-based shoot presented its own set of difficulties. DiCaprio's significant fan base resulted in him being somewhat sequestered in his hotel, while the film set itself was a hub of frenetic energy. At one point, Cameron Diaz, following Scorsese's instruction, delivered a real slap to DiCaprio during a scene, causing facial numbness and a pause in filming. In another memorable incident, DiCaprio inadvertently broke Daniel Day-Lewis's nose during a fight scene. However, Day-Lewis, ever the professional, maintained his character until the take was complete. Despite receiving critical praise and 10 Oscar nominations, Gangs of New York underperformed commercially, and even set a record for failing to secure any of its nominated awards. The following year saw DiCaprio collaborate with Steven Spielberg on Catch Me If You Can, a role that was originally intended for Johnny Depp, with James Gandolfini also initially attached to the project. This pairing proved successful, resulting in a lighthearted and well-received film that demonstrated DiCaprio's versatility. His ability to embrace diverse roles and work alongside esteemed directors has cemented his status as a respected figure within the film industry. DiCaprio's long and successful career is a testament to his dedication to acting, his strong working relationships with his co-stars, and the genuine quality he imbues in his performances, making him a much-loved figure in the entertainment world. DiCaprio's collaboration with Spielberg on Catch Me If You Can offered a unique chance to interact with Frank Abagnale Jr., the film's subject and author of the Source autobiography. Abagnale even visited the set during filming. While the film didn't win many awards, DiCaprio received his third Golden Globe nomination for his performance. The year 2004 saw DiCaprio reunite with Scorsese for The Aviator, a biographical film about the eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes. DiCaprio immersed himself in research, connecting with individuals acquainted with Hughes and even simulating the struggles of obsessive-compulsive disorder to better understand the role. This commitment resulted in 11 Oscar nominations and 5 wins for the film, including a Best Actor Golden Globe for DiCaprio. Scorsese's meticulous approach extended to The Aviator's color grading, which was adjusted to reflect different filmmaking styles across various periods. Following this success, they began developing their next project, a remake of the Hong Kong thriller Infernal Affairs. Scorsese initially envisioned Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt in the lead roles, but Cruise dropped out and Pitt, citing age, opted to produce instead. Eventually, Jack Nicholson was convinced to play Frank Costello after a meeting with DiCaprio and Scorsese. This remake, released as The Departed, garnered 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director. DiCaprio's performance as undercover officer Billy Costigan earned widespread praise. The film's success was a significant turning point in DiCaprio's career, solidifying his reputation as a versatile and highly skilled actor. How do you feel about Leonardo's story and The Departed? Please comment "okay" if you find it interesting. Collaborating with Jack Nicholson on The Departed presented unique challenges for DiCaprio, especially during unexpectedly intense scenes. Nicholson's unannounced presence on set with a real firearm created tension when it was discovered by the cast and crew. Scorsese later described the shared shock and apprehension, leading to adjustments in filming. However, DiCaprio's genuine fear in that moment was retained in the final cut, adding to the film's intensity. The Departed was pivotal, not only for DiCaprio but also for Scorsese, who finally won his first Best Director Oscar. That same year, DiCaprio received his 3rd Academy Award nomination for his role in Blood Diamond, an action thriller filmed in South Africa. The experience deeply affected DiCaprio, leading to his involvement with local orphanages and communities. He developed a lasting relationship with a young girl from one of the orphanages whom he continues to support. Blood Diamond sparked controversy and attracted official attention, prompting the South African government to address issues surrounding illegal diamond mining. Around this time, DiCaprio had another near-fatal encounter during a shark cage diving expedition, his second close call with death. "A great white jumped into my cage when I was diving in South Africa," DiCaprio recounted to Wired. "Half its body was in the cage and it was snapping at me. I sort of fell down to the bottom of the cage and tried to lie flat. The great white took about 5 or 6 snaps an arm's length away from my head. The guys there said that has never happened in the 30 years they'd been doing it. It flipped itself back out again. I have it on video. It's insane." DiCaprio returned to the screen in 2008 with 2 films, Revolutionary Road and Body of Lies, both featuring reunions with past co-stars. Body of Lies, an action film centered on CIA operatives, marked his second collaboration with Russell Crowe. DiCaprio reunited with his Titanic co-stars, Kate Winslet and Kathy Bates, in Revolutionary Road. His close friendship with Winslet likely contributed to their powerful performances in this challenging drama. DiCaprio again collaborated with Martin Scorsese, initially intending to make The Wolf of Wall Street. However, the studio deemed it too expensive, leading them to create the thriller Shutter Island instead. Interestingly, Shutter Island is an anagram of truth and lies, reflecting the film's complex themes, one of many cleverly hidden details. Shutter Island, inspired by film noir and Hitchcock's Vertigo, is considered by many to be a classic thriller. Though initially slated for release in 2009, the studio postponed it to February 2010 to leverage potential Oscar buzz and reduce advertising costs. Despite this strategy, Shutter Island became their only joint project without an Academy Award nomination, yet still achieved considerable success. In 2009, DiCaprio had a third near-death experience in Russia. While flying business class, he witnessed a terrifying engine explosion. "I was in business class and an engine blew up in front of my eyes. It was right after Sully Sullenberger landed in the Hudson. I was sitting there looking out at the wing, and the entire wing exploded in a fireball," he recounted. DiCaprio, the sole witness, vividly described the scene. "I was the only one looking out at the moment this giant turbine exploded like a comet. It was crazy." The plane glided silently for minutes before the pilots successfully restarted the engines and made an emergency landing at JFK. Meanwhile, Christopher Nolan, having developed a film about dreams for over 2 decades, saw DiCaprio as ideal for the lead role. After reading the script, DiCaprio agreed, spending 2 months refining the character and rewriting scenes with Nolan. According to Emma Thomas, Nolan's wife and producer, their collaboration transformed the story from a puzzle into a character-driven narrative that resonated with audiences. DiCaprio has spoken about the difficulties he encountered while filming movies like Inception and Shutter Island, citing the absence of a traditional antagonist and the sustained dramatic intensity as particularly demanding aspects of these projects. He highlighted his collaboration with Marion Cotillard on Inception as a standout experience, noting her exceptional dedication significantly influenced his own performance. Cotillard's meticulous preparation and rehearsal methods, according to DiCaprio, elevated the quality of their shared scenes. Inception's director Christopher Nolan drew inspiration from his personal experiences within the film industry when developing the movie's characters. He envisioned the members of the dream-sharing team as analogous to a real film crew, with Cobb representing the director, Arthur the producer, and so forth. This distinctive approach added further depth to the film's already intricate and layered narrative. In 2011, DiCaprio portrayed J. Edgar Hoover in Clint Eastwood's biographical drama, J. Edgar. This role presented a considerable challenge, encompassing over 6 decades of Hoover's life and necessitating a team of specialists to effectively bring the story to the screen. DiCaprio's commitment to embodying Hoover was evident in his willingness to undergo extensive makeup and hair transformations, including the application of silicone layers, body padding, wigs, and a prosthetic nose. In that same year, Leonardo DiCaprio finally collaborated with Quentin Tarantino on Django Unchained. Though Tarantino had previously considered DiCaprio for Inglourious Basterds, ultimately opting for a German-speaking actor, their shared interest in working together persisted. DiCaprio joined the ensemble cast of Django Unchained as the cruel Calvin Candie. Tarantino himself acknowledged that Calvin was his only wholly irredeemable character, making DiCaprio's portrayal all the more remarkable. Playing the truly villainous Calvin Candie in Django Unchained presented a considerable acting challenge for DiCaprio. As only his second antagonist role, immersing himself in Candie's deeply racist and violent persona proved difficult. He reportedly even struggled to finish a scene due to the sheer volume of racist language. Despite this difficulty, DiCaprio's dedication resulted in powerful moments on set. In one instance, he accidentally cut his hand while striking a table during a scene. However, committed to his performance, he continued acting without interruption. This dedication earned him a standing ovation from the crew, and director Quentin Tarantino resourcefully incorporated the real injury into the scene, enhancing it with fake blood. Although DiCaprio's performance as Candie garnered a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor, the award ultimately went to Christoph Waltz. DiCaprio then took on the iconic role of Jay Gatsby in Baz Luhrmann's cinematic adaptation of The Great Gatsby. This film reunited him with Tobey Maguire for the first time since their collaboration on This Boy's Life. and marked his second project with Lerman, following Romeo plus Juliet. The film's opulent costumes and set design were recognized with an Academy Award, further solidifying DiCaprio's box office appeal. While embodying the charming Gatsby on screen, DiCaprio continued his environmental advocacy off-screen. In 2013, he contributed $3 million to Nepalese tiger conservation efforts. That same year, he secured funding for The Wolf of Wall Street, his fifth film with Martin Scorsese. In preparation for his portrayal of Jordan Belfort, DiCaprio spent months with the real-life Belfort, immersing himself in the character by learning everything from the language of stockbrokers to the effects of heavy drug use. The film, filled with improvised moments, showcases DiCaprio's remarkable acting abilities, culminating in a truly memorable character. While Martin Scorsese's directorial style often empowers actors with considerable improvisational leeway, yielding outstanding results, his fifth collaboration with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Wolf of Wall Street, encountered unexpected difficulties. Despite earning an Academy Award nomination, DiCaprio ultimately did not win, and the film's accomplishments were overshadowed by a real-world FBI investigation into financial improprieties. This investigation, known as the Malaysian Scandal, involved the misappropriation and concealment of substantial funds by the Malaysian Prime Minister, and his son had direct ties to The Wolf of Wall Street. The production company behind the film, Red Granite Pictures, was owned by the individuals implicated in the scandal, and they had invested a significant sum, exceeding $100 million, in the movie's production. Consequently, DiCaprio was required to provide testimony to the FBI and return a gift he had received from Red Granite, Marlon Brando's Oscar statuette. Although DiCaprio's direct involvement in any wrongdoing was never officially confirmed, he was obligated to return any gifts linked to the misappropriated funds. Scorsese's association with high-value Asian enterprises continued. In 2015, he directed a short promotional film titled The Audition, featuring DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Brad Pitt, which boasted a record-breaking budget of $70 million, making it the most expensive commercial ever made. Scorsese and DiCaprio's subsequent joint project, a biopic about Theodore Roosevelt, remains largely undisclosed, with an anticipated release date no earlier than 2022. Meanwhile, DiCaprio has shifted his focus towards philanthropic endeavors, particularly in the realm of climate change advocacy. His appointment as a United Nations Messenger of Peace with a special focus on climate change in 2014 has led him to dedicate more time to this cause than to his acting career in recent years. Prior to his involvement in The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio had already pledged to collaborate with director Alejandro González Iñárritu on The Revenant. Iñárritu consented to postpone production until DiCaprio completed filming Wolf of Wall Street, using the intervening time to work on Birdman. Once DiCaprio was free, he was presented with the opportunity to portray Steve Jobs in the eponymous biopic, but declined out of respect for Iñárritu and his commitment to The Revenant. The Revenant became DiCaprio's most demanding project to date, necessitating the acquisition of new skills such as musket firing, fire starting, and fluency in Native American dialects. The role also entailed extensive time in the makeup chair and the consumption of raw bison liver, a significant departure for the vegetarian actor. Remarkably, despite the numerous arduous and potentially hazardous scenes, DiCaprio emerged from filming unscathed, a testament to the proficiency of the stunt coordinators and film crew. DiCaprio was instrumental in bringing Tom Hardy onto the project, and the two actors engaged in a friendly wager during production. The terms stipulated that the loser would receive a tattoo of the winner's choosing. Hardy lost the bet, resulting in a tattoo that reads, "Leo knows all," inscribed in DiCaprio's handwriting. The Revenant ultimately achieved tremendous success, grossing $500 million at the box office, garnering widespread critical acclaim, and receiving numerous accolades. This marked a high point in DiCaprio's career, prompting a 4-year hiatus from acting following the film's completion. Leonardo DiCaprio's planned involvement with the Italian Sherlock Holmes drama, Black Hand, was put on hold in favor of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This crime thriller, co-starring Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie, ultimately took precedence. Following the success of Tarantino's film, DiCaprio maintained his focus on projects reflecting his environmental and social activism. In 2020, he appeared in the Netflix satirical comedy Don't Look Up, alongside Jennifer Lawrence. The film, widely interpreted as a commentary on climate change denial, generated varied critical responses but nevertheless fueled dialogue regarding the pressing need for environmental action. DiCaprio's commitment to environmental advocacy remained steadfast. He continued leveraging his influence to raise awareness of climate change, deforestation, and endangered species protection. His organization, the Leonardo Dicaprio Foundation, persisted in its global support of environmental initiatives, ranging from rainforest preservation to the advancement of clean energy alternatives. His next acting role was a reunion with Martin Scorsese in Killers of the Flower Moon, a historical crime drama based on the Osage Indian murders of the 1920s. The film explores themes of greed, corruption, and the exploitation of indigenous communities, demonstrating DiCaprio's capacity for portraying morally complex characters. Beyond his acting career, DiCaprio pursued entrepreneurial ventures, investing in sustainable businesses and technological advancements to address environmental challenges. He also engaged in documentary production, utilizing storytelling to highlight critical global issues and inspire action. Leonardo DiCaprio's journey, from a boy fascinated by cameras to a Hollywood star and prominent environmental advocate, testifies to his unwavering dedication, talent, and passion. His commitment to using his influence for the greater good has established him as a role model for aspiring actors and activists alike. As this overview of Leonardo DiCaprio's remarkable life concludes, it underscores that success is not solely measured by awards and recognition, but also encompasses the journey itself. DiCaprio's steadfast commitment to his craft, his willingness to embrace risks, and his passion for storytelling have inspired countless individuals worldwide. What part of his story inspired you most? Let us know in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive into Leo's life, and subscribe for more inspiring journeys of iconic figures. Thanks for watching.